you beautiful people. Welcome to episode number 6. I'm your host, Mark Anderson, with the Reptile Shed podcast on the Show Me Reptile Network. And today I got some awesome stuff coming your way. But before that, let's go ahead and roll some sponsorship videos and pay the bills. Such a cool video, the Marion, Ohio Reptile Show. I know that's really close to my the conductor, Brian, and he's super pumped about that show. But yeah, that'll be a super fun weekend. All right, back to this show. Let's go ahead and roll the intro for our guest right now. Awesome. Those. All right, let's go ahead and bring out our guest. Special guest today is Gramma Rose. Everybody knows her by Linda. Let's go ahead and bring her out.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, doing just fine. Just
Oh my God.
enjoying our wonderful warm weather that has finally started.
It's your first podcast. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's my very first podcast.
I know, I'm just
Yes.
rushing through the intros to get you on. Okay, so now that I have you on, I'm super excited. And we have so many stories together, but let's go ahead and just start out with who you are. So you can tell everybody.
Okay, well, I am Linda Rose Forney, and my husband and I started this business 7 years ago, and it's just become something much more than we ever expected. And I'm still a bit in awe of the beautiful animals we have. But I'll tell you what makes this business, and I'm sure, Mark, you would absolutely agree with this, it's really the people. People often say to me, "Oh, have you always loved all these, this many animals?" And actually, I wouldn't have this many animals if it wasn't for the petting zoo and all the people. Of course, some animals I'll have the rest of my life, no matter what. But it's really the people that keep me going.
Awesome. And your petting zoo, what does that imply? Like, what is your petting zoo?
Well, our petting zoo, which is actually turning into more of a
A real zoo?
an adventure, it's our goal is to have almost every single animal on the property touchable.
That's amazing.
I know that, when we go to a regular zoo, they're wonderful, and I can't compete with the rhinoceroses and the different really amazing exotics that they have at zoos.
Uh-huh.
but we get to touch our animals. And
Yeah.
that's what people say that they love so much about coming here. Um, in fact, they say they love going to the Portland Zoo, but this is their favorite just because they get to interact.
And what kind of animals can people interact with there?
Um, so we do have some farm animals. We've got a beautiful Michon pig, which is an exotic pig from China, and she is actually a critically endangered domestic pig breed. So that allows me the opportunity to educate people on, because I don't have a lot of animals that are considered endangered. And we have a mini horse, and I'm excited because our new animal
Uh-huh.
is we are getting a zebra.
What? That's amazing.
Yeah, so the zebra, I have wanted a zebra since I was a little girl. I mean, I've even um, done art projects.
Nice.
I do pen and ink, and then I color it, and it ends up being almost like a painting. And I've done a couple pictures of zebra. I love zebras.
I love zebras
Um,
too.
and of course, we have chickens, and we've got doves and rare breeds of pigeons. People come for the kangaroos and the wallabies. In fact, I've got one running around right now who just jumped off the cushion. Are you okay? I heard you making racket over there.
That's
Um, so they come for the kangaroos and wallabies. We have 5 red kangaroos. So we have one breeding male,
that's
uh,
amazing.
an altered male, his son, and then we have 3 girls, and we have 4 wallabies. So we have an albino who was showcased in your video, and we have 3 normal coloreds. So, and then people, even though they're kind of nervous about it at first, once they give the porcupines a chance, they're hooked. They're
I love
just
hugging
fun.
them.
Oh yeah, they're just fun. And the one that I am really in love with is our prehensile tailed porcupine. That is a Brazilian, South American porcupine that has her fingers work very much like monkey hands, and her feet, because they climb trees. So
What? I've
these are,
actually never interacted with one.
oh my gosh, she is so much fun. And she's got this boopy nose. It's like a marshmallow. And I've actually got her now to give me kisses. Y'all go, give me a
What?
kiss, Emmy Lou. And then we have 2 African crested porcupines. So we have Lucinda, and Mark, you have met Lucinda.
Dude,
And we now have Jackman. So Jackman will be her mate. And it's really cute to just see how they are bonding together. So hopefully we'll have a little porcupette
that's
next
amazing.
year.
I can't wait to get some babies.
Oh, I am just over the hill. I'm just so excited. The prehensile tailed porcupine, she's a horse of a different color, so to speak. As a New World porcupine, their quills are barbed. And
Okay.
so playing with her is a little bit of a dangerous adventure because just playing with her, I can get quilled. I mean, it's just,
So what do you
she
mean by
doesn't,
barbed? Like you can't go
well,
one way with it where it's smooth?
yeah. So there's 2 different kinds of porcupines in the world. You have African crested or I'm sorry, old world porcupines, which come from Asia, Africa, and India.
Okay.
And then they are terrestrial. They mate for life. Their quills are very long. In fact, I should have.
I have a quill.
Do you have a quill?
I think I do. I have one from yours.
Oh, okay.
That's
Because I
mine.
can easily grab some quills.
Yeah, if
But
you just grab
anyway,
it. I can't find mine.
well, would
I
you
had a
like me to
quill. I
grab
don't know where
one?
it went.
Would you like me to grab one real
Cheers.
quick? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
it
don't know
would
where
be
mine
pretty
is.
cool to see them.
And you have the other quill.
And
Huh. And I never realized there is an old world and a new world porcupine. Which new world means they come from the Americas, and old world means they come from any other country.
any other country, yeah. There are no porcupines in Australia. But anyway, here are
Awesome.
some quills.
Wow.
right here. So, oh, so there's one right there.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like it's broken right there, rats. But anyway, that gives you an idea how long some of the quills are compared to my face. It gives you a better idea. And anyway, porcupines have, you're chewing on my quills. You can't do that. Porcupines have about 30,000 quills. And with the old world porcupines, there aren't little, they call them barbs, but they're kind of like these little cuts in the quill. And if they get stuck in you, it hurts to pull them out. The old world porcupine, they have bigger quills, they go in deeper. I
Okay.
mean, they really go in deep. But you can just pull them right out because they're not barbed. So with the old world porcupines or the African crested porcupines in Africa, the tail is like really major weapons. I mean, they're thicker and they're not quite so long, but they can go through the jaw of a lion.
Wow.
So they're really very dangerous. So the New World porcupine, how they're different, they come from South America, and we actually have one that's here in North America. But from what I've read, that particular our porcupine migrated along with the possum, the Virginia possum, and the nine-banded armadillo. They migrated up from South America back when there was a land bridge.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the nine-banded armadillo is considered a menace and an invasive species. So it's sad. And so there's actually bounties on the heads of the nine-banded armadillos down south. It's
Oh
just so
man.
sad. So anyway, so getting back to the New World porcupines, so their quills they're shorter.
Okay.
They they're I think the longest one Emmy Lou has is probably 3 inches.
Wow.
But if they get stuck in you, it hurts to pull them out because those little areas that are kind of like cut in, they call them barbed, but it's not like they got real barbs on them. It's almost like they're,
It's like a
when you
microscopic
see
level.
it, like what?
Like when you look at it under a microscope, you can see all the barbs.
Yeah. So they aren't real noticeable, but I can actually feel them when I run my finger down the to the tip. You can
Oh
feel it.
wow.
And when I play with Emmy Lou, I get quilled all the time
Does that
because
does it hurt? I mean, obviously it hurts, but what
yeah,
does it
it
feel
it
like?
does. Yeah, it hurts. When I
Like,
pull them out, I've got a piece of skin that goes with it. So, um, but she doesn't do it on purpose. We're just
uh-huh.
playing. She gets the zoomies, and she's still a baby. She's going on a year and a half. And so she plays kind of like a puppy, and I'm working with her on being gentle, ow, gentle, but she will oh my goodness, she's so much fun. Our little Jackman was not bottle fed, and he is a firecracker. um, there's no way we can interact with him without getting quilled or bit.
And that's a little African crested one.
Yeah, he's the little African crested one I just received from Texas this last month and a half. And so anyway, the cool thing with him is his mother was albino, and Lucinda's got albinism in her genetics. So I'm hoping to get an albino baby at
Yes,
about a
that's amazing.
30% chance. So I'm excited about that. And let's see, we do have some reptiles, not like you, Mark, but we have a few snakes. We have some common boas and 3 corn snakes and 3 ball pythons.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
And your
and I,
tortoises.
what?
Any of your tortoises?
Oh, yeah. And so we have a sulcata tortoise, and he was, thanks to Mark, thanks to you, I noticed that he had shell damage, but I didn't realize at the time that he had shell rot. And so now I'm very careful to make sure that I keep his shell hydrated, and it's healing, but he'll always have scars
It looks a
there.
lot better than when it was.
Yeah, but it's
And they live 200 years, so I mean, you got a lot of time to, make it better.
I mean, he has grown. He's doubled in size since I got him. I don't know, what was that, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
And you
So I
cohab
must,
them.
and what?
And you cohab them, right? Like you cohab the sulcatas and the porcupines?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yes. Yes, I did. Well, back when we just had Lucinda, I would have the tortoises in there, and because porcupines, oh, I forgot to tell you, the New World porcupines do not mate for life.
Oh,
They come together to breed and then everybody splits.
interesting.
So, but what's interesting with Emmy Lou is she is extremely loving. I wasn't expecting that. She loves people. She doesn't know a stranger. She just wants to get on the shoulder of everybody. We can't let her do it because you will get quilled, and she likes to play in hair and she'll
Uh,
bite, and she's just a kick in the pants. But anyway, with Lucinda, when we only had her, she was alone, and because they mate for life, I thought, well, the only thing I had at that time, because I can't keep rabbits with them and I can't keep guinea pigs with them, they need to be housed separately according to USDA requirements. So I put in the tortoises, and it was love at first sight.
Nice. And they're
She did,
naturally, wildly, like they naturally occur in the wild.
and they do, yes. Yeah, now I do have two emus in with them right now,
Yeah.
babies, and eventually they're going to get moved out. But I was a little concerned since they're from a different continent.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you mix two continents together, it doesn't always work real well. But Lucinda, oh my goodness, she gets along with everybody. I
And I
mean,
feel like it'd be like an ostrich, right? Almost like same, because there's ostriches in Africa, so it'd almost be like the same.
yeah. So one of the interesting things that I learned about ostriches and emus is they're very different. I always thought that they were kind of like really closely related, but ostriches only have two toes and emus have three.
That's
So genetically, they're very separated. Of course, we have the kiwis, which is another flightless bird, and I didn't know that. So they're more closely related to the cassowary, which is in Australia.
I want a
But
cassowary. That'd be so cool.
yeah, well, you know me here. I like to have animals that aren't scary.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll probably never have anything that's what I would consider potentially, well, emus can be dangerous, but anybody that knows emus knows that emus are actually friendly and curious just by
Nice.
nature.
That's
And
awesome.
and they acclimate to humans very, very well. So we have one adult emu named George, and he is just a kick in the pants. But the little ones eventually will join him, one boy and one girl. I named the girl Annie, and there's Jimmy, and
Oh,
they're already becoming very, very friendly. I go in there and they're pecking at my clothes, and
I can't
they're
wait to
not
see them.
real keen on being held, which is okay. Um, but they're becoming more and more friendly, and that'll be nice for George.
And you have lots of other
Um,
birds as well.
yes, so we have a pair of demoiselle cranes. Demoiselle cranes are the smallest cranes in the world. They're cute because of their hairdo, the way they've got their feathers start about here and go down like an old man that's bald. They're very cute. And we have a black swan,
I
a
love it.
female named Scarlet, and we have a pair of ringed teals. And then, like I mentioned, we have some rare breed of pigeons. They're called short-faced Budapest, and short-faced just simply means teeny, teeny, teeny beak.
And they have the big eyes,
And the great big bug eyes.
like the
Yes.
cartoon.
Yep, pretty much. Yep. Yep, they're so cute. And then we have our blue and gold macaw, Cosmo. I've had him for 30 years. He is 31, so I got him when he was a year old. And we have an African gray who's 25. I got him in the year 2000 and hand fed him. So he's been with us his whole life. Oh, who is this back here?
What is that?
Oh, what are you doing, Tabby?
I know what
Hey,
that is.
Tab.
You want to show
Can
the
you see?
camera?
Can you see her?
I can see the head, yeah.
Oh, there she is back here. What are you doing, Tabby? I didn't even feel her jump up here. You're so funny. Yeah, wallabies are super bouncy trouncy.
Okay.
I mean, when I put them in their playpen, I have to put a heavy lid on it because they will jump out. They can jump 4 feet in the air, just boink, and they're just um, very different from kangaroos. Kangaroos don't really jump quite like a wallaby. Let's see, what other birds do we have? We do have a cockatoo. His name is Rocky, and he is about 40 years old. And
And
he's shy. He's very shy, but he's ouch. What are you doing, Tabby? Oh, off we go. Okay. Oh my goodness, just bounced off me. So he's just sweet, and we have a little cockatiel named Rio who is adorable. And
cute.
I do raise cockatiels and budgies. So budgies, little American budgies, a lot of people just call them parakeets, but there's over 300 kinds of parakeets. So these are called budgerigars, and they're just the little budgies that you can buy in most pet stores. And what's funny is the Aborigines named them budgerigars, which means good eating in Aborigines. So I just can't even imagine. There's nothing on those little birds. But what people don't realize, which is why I'm going to hand raise them, is that a hand-fed budgie. Oh, hi. What are you doing? Hello. Are you on the back of the couch? Mwah. Off you go, goofball. They make incredible pets when they're hand-fed. Very
All right.
loving. The males are on the top 10 best talking list of all birds.
What? The
Yeah, the
little
little
ones you
bud,
see at Petco?
yeah,
Like the
the
little.
little budgerigars. Yep, the little budgies.
Yeah.
Not so much the females, but the males. And there's actually videos on YouTube if you just Google it that show how well these little boogers talk. And a
Wow.
lot of people don't realize how well they talk because so budgies have a naturally fast way of verbalizing, not verbalizing, but communicating. So when you're teaching a budgie to talk, you talk in really a slow style, whatever you want to teach them. Some of them quote Shakespeare, and oh, it's just adorable.
Oh my.
Because then when they imitate it, their voice will naturally sound more slow. But most of us go, hello, hello, hello. We say it quickly. And so if a budgie repeats that, they often don't know they've got a talking budgie because of how
Wow.
fast they naturally talk. So it's kind of a fun little thing
And you're
about.
a bird expert too. So let's backtrack a little bit. You had your own bird store for a while.
Yeah. So when when I was a little girl, I was in a very broken family and lots of foster homes, and my grandparents were able to find. I call it an orphanage because that's kind of what it was, but it was a school for homeless girls. It was over in the valley, which is Portland. So I'm in Central Oregon. The Cascade Mountains separate us from the valley, which would be the Portland area. And Mark, you know all that.
I'm at the coast.
Anyway, so that's where I lived when I was a little girl. And I don't know why it all started, but I just loved birds. So I would go into the little rinky dink library, hi honey, that we had. and I would check out all the book encyclopedias under B and any picture books I could get. And I would just go back and look at the pictures of birds. Just love birds, any bird, doesn't matter. Um, and then one day, the nun that was the head of my cottage and my homeroom teacher, because I went to school, it also had a school that
Okay.
was on campus. They told me if I could earn money to pay for half of a cage, which was $8, they would get me a cage and two budgies. And so I was actually the first person, at least in the memory of those that worked there, Sister Kathleen, the nun that, I mean, she had been there pretty much her whole life. The name of the convent is Sister of the Holy Names. And years ago, the Willamette River, there was a group of nuns who brought orphaned girls up the Willamette River to the convent, and they had the old building that they turned into the school, and all the girls would live upstairs. So it had been, it's about 200 years now. Christie School, unfortunately, is closed, but it was in operation for about 200 years. So anyway, I was called the bird girl of Christie School instead of the Birdman of Alcatraz. That's what everybody called me, the bird girl of Christie School. And I continued to have my budgies until I moved in with my family when I was 14. So I went to Christie School when I was 10. I was 14 when I left. And they wouldn't let me have any animals,
Oh,
which, was just the way it was. And so, other than the 4 years I lived with my family, I've had birds since I was about 10, well, maybe 11 years old.
amazing.
And then along came the kangaroos. Well, wow. Having a kangaroo is the most, are you up here again? Is the most amazing experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's interesting in California, they're illegal because uh, they're illegal because California considers them a dangerous animal.
Okay.
And I think they would be on par with bulls.
Oh yeah.
We could say cows were dangerous because of the bull, horses are dangerous because of the stallion. And there's actually legislature going on right now in Oregon trying to outlaw, the animal rights groups are trying to shut down
Of course
places
they are. And
like
speaking of that, it won't even affect you because you have your USDA permits.
Well, I do, and I have an animal rescue entity license, so I have two licenses right now.
You're amazing.
But and so I would probably be grandfathered in, maybe, but I would submit to Congress. I mean, I've never done something like this before, so I wouldn't even know how to go about doing it. But kangaroos are no more dangerous than horses and cows and rams. And, you think about how dangerous bulls are and stallions. And the only thing dangerous about a kangaroo, potentially, is a breeding male.
Yep. They get big.
Well, my breeding male is not
You,
very dangerous.
no, but he's big
Uh,
boy.
he is a big boy. He's about, when he stands up on his toes, he's about 6.5 feet now and weighs about 180 pounds. He has his moments because he does have full testosterone, but I do exercise extreme caution. I do separate him from people when we have visitors. However, I will take people in to see him. I just want to be there to supervise, just in case. Hey, you leave those alone. I'm getting pestered to death here. Come on, Tabitha, Tabitha.
So you're a
Like,
USDA permit. Do you plan on getting anything else with because of that permit?
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
She just
Well,
dropped my phone.
quality
Tabby,
problem.
she's up on the counter right now. I'll get her.
That's cute.
Just a second.
That's so awesome.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Tabby, you did it. Mark. Colleen,
That's so
Colleen
awesome.
is getting her. Oh, okay, she got her. Oh, for
I wish
goodness
I had your
sakes.
problems right now.
Ah, So, I was actually thinking about a 501(c),
Okay.
and we are going to work on, and I've never done any of this before. Mark, as you know, I am kind of relaxed. I'm not highly professional. Um, I don't know about how to do all this kind of fancy stuff like podcasts and sponsorships. But if we're going to make this work, I mean, I think the time has come. We need to make some tough, some decisions
Evolved, yeah.
to do sponsors and try to get that figured out. We did receive a grant from Central Oregon Future Fund last year, and we have built a new room that's pretty much finished. It's beautiful. It's 14 by 35 feet. And so the idea is we want to make our property as ADA compliant as possible. That's uh, American Disabilities Act. And so there have been a lot of changes that we have needed to do, and we still have a lot more to do. And so that way people of all capabilities can visit. And so that's the main reason why we did that room. So that way in the wintertime, here in Central Oregon, we have, pretty cold winters.
Yeah.
And it's sad because the different, I call them therapeutic groups of people, they're not always able to get out during harsh weather. And that could be super hot or super cold, rainy. And by having this room, we'll have a big long table in it. I'll be able to set up animals and have people
That's amazing.
um, and in wheelchairs be able to come, and the elderly and those. Sometimes we have groups of autistic children come, and there are some of those where it's too much stimulation, and so they'll have a nice quiet room to go in. I deliberately chose kind of a yellowish ivory paint to go in there, and so when you walk in, it feels very calm and cool, and it'll be really nice for people uh, that need to have a break from the noise and the congestion, because it can get pretty crazy here.
That's amazing.
Um, yeah, and then some of the other animals we have. One of my favorite animals is I have African giant millipedes. And let me tell you, those are amazing. Um, I don't push anybody to hold snakes or my tarantulas, but I do strongly encourage people to give the millipedes a try.
Oh, your husband's
Yeah,
there. Does he want to
yeah,
say hi?
yeah. Yeah, you want to say hi, honey?
Yeah.
This is Mark. Let me move out of the way. Which way can I move?
I'm on.
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Let's see, where
Here's
is
the
he?
other half of the operation right here.
Oh, there's,
That's awesome. Are you loving all the new animals?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's good too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an awesome guy.
Well, Davy really wants some capybaras, and I'm not
Yes,
completely
please.
sure that we're in a climate that we can do that.
Just get a
But
greenhouse with an indoor pond. You'll be fine.
yeah, just I know that always, yeah, just something else I have to think about. Like how would we come up with the funds to do that? As a two-man operation, pretty much we have Social Security and retirement. So we don't have just a lot of money to just do as much as we would like to do. But I've been very thankful this year. We have had a lot of volunteers. I cannot believe how many people have been coming to help, and I'm so thankful.
You want to
We
shout
just
anybody
have,
out?
what?
You want to shout anybody out? I'm sure they're going to be watching.
Oh, 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 all right. Colleen, come here, Colleen. Come here.
Can you see me? Hello. Oh,
Hi,
can't
Colleen.
see me.
Yeah, this is Colleen and her dearest friend Elva.
That's awesome.
There she
Hi.
is.
Good morning.
Hi. Thanks for all your help and everything.
You know what? She's also a good friend to me, and it's my pleasure and my honor. And these animals are truly amazing. Let me tell you.
Right. I wish I was closer.
I know. Well, I know you could do so much to help me with the reptiles. I'm not a real natural, I have to admit. I'm just, it's a bit of a challenge to get everything as nice as I would like with the reptiles. So I do keep the numbers low. I don't have a whole lot just because it doesn't come as natural to me as doing the kangaroos. It just has become second nature. It's
What's
just
your
that,
favorite animal that you have there? What are your favorite animals?
well, the kangaroos pull at my maternal heartstrings.
Okay.
I feel like I'm working with children, and they are so incredibly sweet. They just touch you with their little hands, and they're so I would say that they're the ones that have my maternal heartstrings. I love my porcupines. Oh, I didn't tell you about Alvin. Do you want to go grab Alvin?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see
Oh,
him.
yeah. We're gonna have to see Alvin here because Alvin is so fun. He is a three-banded Brazilian armadillo.
I love him.
And he is a kick in the pants, and I absolutely love him. Emmy Lou, the prehensile tailed porcupine, when I want some good grins and giggles, she's the one I go to.
I can't wait to
Because
see her.
I know she's just so much fun. I have a feeling the zebra is going to be crawling to the top of my list pretty quick. But I also love my Nishan pig. I mean,
That's one of my
it's
favorites too. I love that pig. I always bring her
yeah.
apples and carrots every time I come.
Well, it would be hard for me to choose a favorite because, as you know, even with your reptiles, they're so much different from each other. And so, with Emmy Lou, I can't necessarily snuggle her and hold her close because I would be covered in prickles. And here he comes. But when I go and sit with Daisy, she just grunts and she'll kind of nudge me with her nose.
Here's
Cute.
Mr. Alvin.
Oh, here's
Alvin, he
his,
looks like a little isopod when he's on the ground too.
he does. There's
Oh
Alvin.
my gosh, that's so cute. What are some facts about these guys?
Okay, so there's 20 different kinds of armadillos.
What?
What makes these armadillos particularly fun is out of the 20, this is the only one that curls into a puzzle type ball, which might be a little bit hard to see.
So what's
But
a puzzle type ball?
well,
Like all fully closed?
yes, yes.
Oh
Everything
wow.
goes inside. The tail goes into a certain area. The nose goes in. Um, they are the only one. I did find out that they only have one baby a year. Hello, honey. Come here. Can you go good kisses? Don't put your eyes up there. Oh, you're so precious. So armadillos are related to sloths and anteaters. They're
What?
insectivores. They are insectivores. And so he gets wet cat food, bugs. I gave him a whole bunch of red runners last night, and he was just like, ah. Um, and I give him little pieces of fruits and vegetables, but he really likes his bugs. It's so cute. They have one baby a year. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see the three bands.
1, 2,
But the
3. Yeah.
nine-banded is the one that's in the USA that is considered an invasive species.
Okay.
But what a lot of people don't know, and I still don't know as much as I'm going to know because I'm going to keep studying, there is a little tiny, tiny armadillo called the pink fairy armadillo. And they're so delicate that the longest any one of them have ever lived in captivity is about a year. Normally they die within a couple months. And then you have the armadillo that's over 100 pounds.
What?
They get up to about 110 pounds. Are huge. Um, this little guy tends to be, for probably obvious reasons, the most popular in captivity.
It's
They're
amazing.
just fun and they have
That's it.
such a good nature and they're affectionate. Oh my goodness. Aren't you? Yes, you are. I love you so much. I mean, and something I've recently learned about him, I did a couple exhibits in Bend on Easter and he got diarrhea. And I thought, oh, he's stressed out. And so then I did another, it was not a very long program, and he got diarrhea again. And I thought, okay, so we're going to need to do something different. So now I've been taking him outside and letting him in a playpen area. And we just did another exhibit. I forget what day it was, but anyway, just a few days ago. And he did just fine. So I've just been trying to help him feel more secure and not
Awesome.
get so nervous. But they have an incredible smeller. Oh my goodness. One day I found a mealworm had turned into a beetle.
Okay.
So I just took that beetle and popped it in his, oh, now he's waking up. Yeah, now you're waking up. Yeah, you are, aren't you? He's going to want to get down and run around. I threw one beetle in there and he was running around in circles in his enclosure. And he ran over the spot where I threw the beetle and he stopped like dead in his tracks, spun around and went back and started smelling until he found that beetle. He
Wow.
didn't know I threw something in there. So that was really impressive. I didn't realize they had such good smellers, but their tongue is long and it's pink. Were you licking my hand last night? Yes, you were. And just kind of some fun biological. I don't know if you might not be able to see this, but he's a little boy.
I
They
can
have a,
tell.
they have a very, very long penis and
Wow.
I call them Winkies and Dingleberries. He doesn't have very many dingleberries. I mean, they're not real pronounced like they are on other mammals,
Okay.
but his penis comes out probably 6 inches, and there's little feather things that come out of the little tube on the end. And so when they mate, of course, they can't bend. And so this little thing goes up under the female, and those little feathers feel where to go.
Wow.
So it's really interesting. Yeah, he kind of likes my bare foot, by the way. It's pretty funny to watch. Yeah. But, and I'm the only one he does that to.
Armadillo
He
problem.
won't do that to anybody else. So I would say overall, I would give him a 10 as a pet,
Okay.
but then I'd do that for probably just about any animal I have.
Hey.
He is, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you about your endangered pig. Do you have any plans on breeding her?
No, this is the heartbreak of it. I have read that they live 15, 16 years, but she's 7 and she's already got some arthritis settling in to her back hips. And my vet, I had him out 3 different times to check her over because she had a hard time getting up. And so we now make her get up 3 or 4 times a day. But the vet said that meat pigs only live 8 to 10 years.
Crazy.
So she's considered a senior pig. And I am heartbroken.
I was gonna say we have an animal shipment coming from China at the end of the year, so if you need a Chinese pig, I could probably get one on there for you.
Oh my goodness. Well, there is somebody local my husband met that has Michon pigs. They would have to be genetically pure for
Okay.
me to want to get another one. Because that's what makes her so educational and interesting is seeing what a pure Michon pig looks
She has
like.
really long ears.
Very long ears and a very long snout. So one of the things I learned about pigs, and you probably know this, Mark, but I didn't. There's two kinds of pigs in the world. You have rooting pigs. We all know about the rooters. And there's grazing pigs.
I had no idea.
And so she eats hay. She gets her pellets, but she eats hay. She
Okay.
doesn't get in there and destroy the property and root up everything. No, she makes a little area where she lays. But I had no idea. In Idaho, they have what's called the Idaho grazing pig. And so after the farmers harvest their field, they let these pigs go out and they eat up all the rubble. I had no idea.
Huh.
So anyway, Davey doesn't know this, but we have another pig coming.
Yeah.
She's a very precious, cute little cooney.
Okay.
And so she's coming with the zebra. But
And what's a cooney?
a cooney is a small
Okay.
little grazing pig. They're short-legged. They kind of look a little bit like a Vietnamese potbelly.
Okay.
Yeah, but they have an incredibly good nature. They're just really nice grazing pigs. So this lady that we're getting, the zebra's name is Mav. I call him Maverick. They have to move. And she
Okay.
had some other animals. She had a kangaroo and she had a wallaby, but Davy said, absolutely not. You know, we just can't. Besides, they're not altered, so we would have to pay for that, and we just don't have the funds to do that. You know, because that'd be $1,000 to neuter both the boys.
Wow.
I think we should do it, but you know, I do listen to my husband. Some people think I don't, but I do. But I didn't. I'm still withholding the news about the cooney.
Happy wife,
But
happy life.
I know, but you know, my thought is we may not have Daisy that much longer. Yeah, I mean, even though she seems to be doing better with her walking because we get her up 3, 4 times a day. But if people get a chance, Misha is spelled Meisha.
Okay.
And they come from a 5,000-year-old Tehu pig breed, so they are considered a heritage breed. The breed didn't catch on in the US from what I've been able to research because the meat is heavily marbled and people didn't want to fill their freezers with fatty meat. And so even though they were bred for small farms, they're easy on fences. I have read some sources say they have the softest environmental footprint of all livestock.
Wow.
So
That's
you wouldn't even know we had a pig in our property. You know, she's just absolutely amazing. So
that is
I'm hoping we have several more years, but we may not, you know. And so my thought was, well, I don't want to be without a pig. And this girl, she loves to have baths and she's just a kick in the pants. So she'll be
that,
perfect.
that's amazing.
Perfect.
What are your
Yeah.
where do you see yourself in 5 years? Your zoo in 5 years?
Oh, I should just mention really quick, if it's okay. We do have Patagonian cavies
Mm-hmm.
and or maras. Some people call them maras, especially down in South America. They are a cousin to the capybara and the guinea pig, and they're right in the middle. They're the fourth largest rodent in the world. The African crested porcupine is the third largest. The American beaver is the second largest, and the capybara is the largest. So,
Wow.
anyway, I think we're going to have a baby any day now. So
Yay.
I'm excited about that. But they are incredibly fun,
I love
weird,
Peter.
entertaining critters. And speaking of Peter, he's now 14 years old, and they only live 11 to 14 years in captivity. So it's going
Wow.
to be, I've had Peter since he was a year old, year and a half. And I'm going to put him on the floor. I'm going to let him go run around. He'll have fun. My little isopod. I call him Alvin the bug. But
You look like
I'm hoping in 5 years, Lord willing, you know, we'll have we'll have our projects done. We definitely, I am applying for another grant to put
Okay.
in some protected areas in the rabbit area and out in the kangaroo field. So when people walk into the front gate, and Mark, you know where the front gate is,
Uh-huh.
to the right is where the kangaroo field is. And we're going to put in a sidewalk right there and build a
Wow.
14 by 14 pad with a cover to go over it. And so that way people in wheelchairs will be able to roll onto the cement instead of into the dirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so hopefully we will receive another grant.
Yay. And you said you're starting
Yeah.
social media stuff more. Are you gonna do like a Patreon and do like with sponsorships and stuff like that?
Yeah, I need to, again, I'm not to downgrade myself, but I'm just pretty relaxed and not very professional. So, I mean, when people come here, it is my goal that people feel like we're a home away from home. I don't want anybody to ever feel like they need to be well, let's see. I'm trying to think how to say this. I don't allow children to chase animals, period. But I let kids pretty much do what they want. They can run, they can laugh, even in the kangaroo area. I'm trying to make this more like a home environment instead of super professional, if that makes sense. I don't know. I
It's
guess
a
it's just my
destination.
yeah,
And
and I
you
want,
essentially live in the middle of nowhere, so people come to you and they come to you willingly and all the time.
mhm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fun. So in 5 years, I hope to have the other projects completed, and I would like to get a little female for Alvin.
Okay. That'd be
I
perfect.
don't think I'll get a male for Emmy Lou, the prehensile, because I don't think I can't, with a clear conscience, recommend having one of those as a pet.
I would buy your first baby.
Yeah, but the African crested porcupine, anybody could have one of those. Anybody could have an Alvin. Anybody could have a Patagonian Katie. So it's just Emmy Lou's a completely, I mean, you really have to have, it's kind of like having a sloth. There's certain animals that you really have to have an extra special understanding and uh tolerance. You
Alvin.
Yeah, it's like some of
Emmy
the snakes
Lou,
I have. Yep.
huh?
It's like some of the snakes I have. Yep.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying,
Oh,
it's just you just have to, and I don't know that just anybody is going to appreciate having a prehensile tailed porcupine. And one of the things I try really hard to do is to educate. And even when, oh, are you going to come out? Well, why don't you come up here and show? Here's another baby. Come here.
so
This
cute.
is Bendy. This is
Wow.
Bendy. Come here, Bendy. You want to
So
get
that's
down too?
different from the other one.
Yep. Yep. This is
Oh,
Bendy.
how many do you have? How many babies? Just two?
Two. We have two wallaby babies in artificial pouches and two kangaroo babies inside pouches.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
yeah. So I try to be very careful who I adopt animals out to. Actually, at this point, I've only sold two kangaroos, but very educational. I try to make sure that I'm a lifelong support because if somebody has never had something before, they really need to know what they're getting into.
Oh yeah.
And they shouldn't do like I did and just go up and pick up a kangaroo. That's what I did. But I know me well enough to with animals that anything I get, especially something as complicated as a kangaroo, I spent 7 years. I probably know almost as much about kangaroos as I do birds.
I see all the stuff you post and everything too, especially what's happening in Australia. I see all the links you post.
Aren't
You like
those
doing
fun?
the Yeah, I mean you like doing the
The-
kangaroo conservation, so it's amazing.
Yes. What a lot of people don't realize, I never realized this until, you want to get down? Till I got here. Come here, Ben. Let's go down. And I think there are people that know this. In Australia, kangaroos are considered vermin. Well, I just got through finished reading a book called The Kangaroo Con, and it goes over, I mean, hundreds of statistics, maybe thousands. I don't know. It was a lot of the inaccurate counts that the Australian government does. So they inflate numbers. And when an independent not pollster, but when they go out and count the kangaroos, an independent company, they're actually showing that kangaroo numbers are dwindling.
Wow.
In fact, when roo shooters, they can kill so many kangaroos and they go out, they're actually having to go onto reserves now to get their quota because they're not finding them in the wild. So I'm very proud of Nike and Adidas. There are a variety of shoe companies that use kangaroo skins in their shoes, and both Nike and Adidas have stopped. They're
Good.
going to more sustainable materials. And to be clear, I'm not against hunting by any means. You know, it needs to be humane, of course. But in Australia, even though the government says they're supposed to be shooting him in the brain or the heart, they're getting him in the neck. They're shooting him in their hips. So the poor animals run off, and it takes them 3 to 5 days to die. It's horrible. So it's really the way that they're hunted that have people up in arms. And also the numbers are dwindling.
Wow.
I mean, this is not a sustainable resource
Crazy to
for
even think
hunting.
about.
So that's been pretty eye-opening. And there's a lot of other animals that are suffering because of invasive species, like
Oh.
cats. Cats are decimating the smaller wildlife in Australia. Just
Kind of all over the
thousands and
world too.
thousands. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So anyway, in 5 years, I hope we're a little more professional. Not too much, but
You'll
just a
get
little
there.
bit.
And we're
And
coming up on an hour. So is there anything you want to say to people before we start wrapping stuff up?
So what I would like to encourage people to do is, before you get an animal, please do your diligent research. I mean, just really make sure that you ask lots of questions. If I knew today, 7 years ago, when we thought about opening up a petting zoo, I'm not sure we would have done it. Just because it is such a huge taking care of all these different kinds of animals with all their different medical needs. It's an incredible responsibility. And I get a lot of not a lot, but like guinea pigs and reptiles are donated to me because people make quick decisions, and and I have other animals that are offered to me that I can't, just because
take.
I can't,
Yep.
I can't take everything. So just make sure, if you're going to adopt an animal, or make sure really what you're getting into. Have them tell you all the bad stuff, because it's the bad stuff that gets most animals rehomed because people don't understand. And
Smart.
so, like with Emmy Lou, I would just be even though everybody loves Emmy Lou, I would be really worried if I were to sell a baby to a private family that they'd go, oh, you know.
That's great advice. Tell them all the bad stuff first.
And
I never
then,
thought about that.
yeah, and so then they end up getting neglected or left in cages. And
Smart.
so
Yeah.
I guess I can probably say a lot more, but that
Where can
was the
everybody
one.
follow you?
What was that?
Where can everybody follow you or find you at?
Well, I am on Instagram under Gramma Rose's Petting Zoo. I have A Facebook page under Gramma Rosa Zoo, and Gramma is Gramma. Did I say No, I did say Instagram. Oh, I have a TikTok. I'm not sure how much longer that's going to be up and running, but that I have really cute videos on
Yeah.
TikTok. I mean, they are some of the best, I think,
We'll have to go look.
especially of the kangaroos.
That's amazing. Ah, okay.
And then we have our
you're-
website. We have our website, and the website address is grammarosazoo.com.
Super easy.
Yeah, super easy. Grammarosazoo.com. Yep.
Awesome. It's spelled Gramma.
Yes.
Cool.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
amazing. And you're going to be at the reptile show too.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. I have several friends that are going to come and help, but oh my goodness, just to be a part of something so big like that is going to be a really exciting.
I'll be there
And
to see you
first.
too. Nice.
Yeah,
And
and-
then we have the network you're on right now. We're the largest reptile show coast to coast. And we have our first shows coming to Oregon this year. So we're going to have one in Eugene, one in Medford. There's one in Idaho too. And there's one in
Okay.
Washington as well. But we would love to have you there as well.
Oh my
Especially with some of
goodness.
the animals that you
Okay.
have. That'd be amazing.
Well, you just make sure you keep me up to date.
I'll
and,
keep you up to
well,
date and send you all the information.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mark.
Yeah, you're
Mark,
welcome. Thank you.
kind of my adopted son.
Oh, you're an amazing person, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
And I can't wait to come see you guys. And yeah, I'll see you this weekend, so it'll be perfect.
Okie dokie.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
Thank you for coming on. And then everybody go give her a follow, a like, and then yeah, go give her support. And then I
and-
want to talk about donations. How can people donate to you?
Well, I have my Venmo,
Okay. What's the
which
do you have the name?
it's Linda Rose, LINDAROS -Forney, FORNEY. And the last four of the phone number is 7908.
Awesome. 7908. Cool.
But
Anybody
yes,
with
donations. I will just say this really quick. We have just learned, I don't even know if I've told you about this, Mark, that we're getting our road paved. Have I told you about this? We're getting our road paved out front.
Oh, that's
But-
amazing.
Well, yes, except we've been told that there is concern that all the cars parking on the side of the road will break down the road. So we are being asked to put in culverts and gravel that whole area. And so we are going to start a GoFundMe.
Okay.
Because if we can't get this done, we can't do the petting zoo.
Yeah, we'll start it up and we'll share it and everything. I'll make sure to share it on my personal profile and all the different Facebook groups and platforms I run.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
It'll be
All
amazing.
right.
All right, I really appreciate you, all the work you do, and I'll have you back on soon for sure.
Okie dokie.
All right,
Thanks.
thanks, Linda.
Have a fine, hoppity day. Toodle-doo.
Bye, everybody.